Hi there, and welcome to Thumb Bandits.
Here we separate the crap from the all-time classics. Asteroids, Pitfall, Tomb Raider.
Belching in the dark.
How do you play that? On this week's show, we've got the fantastic offspring to horror, gore, Resident Evil and the PlayStation 2.
We bring you dirty dancing robots. Aleks looks at the latest release for the Dreamcast, and yet they are actually still releasing new games for the Dreamcast.
Plus loads of sneaky peeks at games coming your way. But first, a spot of gratuitous violence.
Close shave, please, Barbara. Us Brits have always been up for a bit of violence, especially when it comes to computer games. The UK's attitude to console carnage is as laid back as the Dutch mentality to drugs. In fact, industry Ubermeister, the British Board of Film Classification, seem well up for a large gun massacre, according to their official statement.
Video games are less violent to play than to contemplate, since the focus is on beating the machine rather than the human figure.
In other words, you're not cutting the throat of a real person. It's just pretend, of course. Carry on, please, sir. Ow! Barbara.
So no problems then? Not quite. This issue of censorship hasn't been that simple in practice. Every year there's been a game that causes the censors to choke on their cappuccino. In 1997, they got all flustered over Carmageddon, a driving game where you had to knock down as many pedestrians as possible. But censors insisted the game was changed, so you had to knock down zombies.
But the most bizarre story of all is Thrill Kill. This infamous cult title is famous for its S&M overtones, armless mental patients, bloodthirsty dwarves, and gallons of gore. First time it went to the censors, all that had to be removed was a female orgasm from the soundtrack. No worries. But then EA acquired the game, and they did have worries. It was promptly buried, never to see the light of day.
And even now, the censorship issue refuses to go away. Hooligans is the latest game upsetting the powers that be.
Hooligans is a game inspired by the British. Makes you proud, doesn't it? You're in charge of a gang of footy fans, and beating the crap out of other supporters is the name of the game. Right up my street. Its creator, a peace-loving Dutchman, is in the UK trying to convince censors that mocking an entire nation of volatile pint drinkers is a smart card to play.
Jason, thank you very much for coming along. First of all, tell us about the game Hooligans. What's it about?
The idea behind it is, like most RTS games, it's you control your troops, like a war game. And the object of this game is to become the most notorious group of hooligans in Europe. We've taken alcohol, we've taken violence, we've taken drugs, and we've taken sex. And
I've taken two of those things in my life, but carry on. Now, Jason, you're obviously not offended by the game, but some people are going to be. What would you say was the most potentially offensive round or action you can do in the game?
we have innocents walking around on the level,
Right.
and you can attack the innocents.
Shoot the bastard.
But Hooligans beating the crap out of police, that's right, is it?
We thought we'd make a fun game, not a realistic game.
But you must have known when you started this game is going to cause a lot of offence, didn't you?
Well, I was aware that we would run into some controversy.
Come on, you knew there were going to be loads of controversy, be honest.
Not loads, because it's aimed at an 18 to 35-year-old audience, and we thought we would get into some sort of controversy, but then that it has gone into right now.
Well, leave early, they'll never expect this. And smash fuck out of the town.
I couldn't still down Slough. Oh, ambulance, is it?
That's excellent.
Do you think this game will encourage people to become violent and become hooligans themselves?
This is a game for mature people.
Shoot the bastard.
You know, the only thing that will happen after playing this game is that you'll, have a laugh and drink a beer, basically, and I don't think you'll turn into a hooligan.
Hooligan storm over Europe. It's a game, folks. My mother would kill me if she thought I was a hooligan.
Providing it gets past the censors, Hooligans will be unleashed in time for Christmas.
With the 25th of December looming and the wish lists of all you greedy tykes growing by the greedy minute, we thought that we would bring you the latest stuff that you won't be seeing on the shop shelves this Christmas.
Firstly, the obvious stuff. Unless you've paid for an import, you're not going to find an Xbox or a GameCube under the tree.
In fact, there are vicious rumours flying about you'll be lucky to see a GameCube over here until next summer.
And unless you're Brooklyn Beckham, you're not going to see the Astar #1 Super Technique Action Robot sitting under the Christmas tree wrapped up in silver paper with a sign on it that says, "You know, this is the most expensive toy out on sale this year. This dancing Dalek is going to set you back $15K.
The robots are so desirable that UK dance act Playgroup used an animated version to star in their video. But can it really dance this well? Well, you can only find out if you can splash the moolah.
Sorry, Rich Boffins, but there are only 50 of those for sale in the world. Over to Alex.
Thanks, Ian. When Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec hit the shelves this summer, it became a record breaker, surpassing all first-day sales of any other game in history. Well, the petrol fumes went right to their heads.
To celebrate this success, Sony are working on an add-on with a difference. Gran Turismo Concept 2000 was unveiled at this year's Tokyo Motor Show.
Yes, Gran Turismo Concept will let you drive some of the weirdest motors around, such as Honda's Dual Note, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution, and a host of other concept motors.
Although Sony aren't commenting on a British release date, the Japanese will be looking for a new pair of string-back gloves in January 2002.
And finally, Santa's sack is beginning to bulge, and it's not because Mrs. Claus is holding back. Nope, he's going to be delivering a whole shed load of Game Boy Advance titles. Said to be the hottest toy this Christmas season, it's estimated that 20 GBAs are sold every single minute. God damn, that's a lot of hardware.
Watch out, parents. Kids are going to be screaming out for the new games like Thunderbirds Are Go, complete with speech samples and video footage. And amazingly, Doom has arrived on the GBA in all its 3D gory glory.
And it just wouldn't be right if there wasn't a WWF title to look forward to. Yes, the spandex has been shrunk to handheld size, and the pint-sized mini-men have battles galore in WWF Road to WrestleMania.
One final thought on the Game Boy Advance. If you've got one of these, you're over 13, you should be ashamed of yourself. Quickly, I want to go and get some sweets in a second. Hurry up. I remember being 12 and going to the pictures to see the first Police Academy movie. Never before had such hijinks and hilarity been portrayed on the silver screen in such a fresh and original way. The whole gang was great. The tall one, the big busty blonde lady, the one that can make funny noises just using his mouth. Class. Then Police Academy 2 came along, and the whole nation sat up expectantly. But it was rubbish. Now stop and think for a second. Imagine that Police Academy 1 is the PS1, and the sequel is the PS2. Clever, huh? Do you see what I've done? It's been disappointing. It's been rushed out too early without any real thought going into it. Or has it? Step forward, Devil May Cry.
The castle is above this cliff. Come on, let's go. Huh.
This game is fucking brilliant. Pardon my unnecessary expletives, but if you were playing this with your mates, that's exactly what you'd say. It's from the same programmers as Resident Evil, but tailored specifically for the PS2. You're Dante, a private investigator of the paranormal, out to kill Lord Beelzebub, of all people.
The first thing this game does right is look absolutely beautiful. Now, obviously, that's never the most important thing, but it's what we've been promised on these next-gen consoles. And so far, hardly any games have delivered. But this one does, and it does in style.
It's amazing. And if that doesn't make you come, then go outside and look at the castle. Look at the detail. This is how games should appear in the 21st century.
The controls are a tad tricky to master at first, but that's due mainly to the impressive cinematic camera work. They're easier to grasp than you think, and well worth making the effort, because Dante can move like a bitch.
He can perform the most spectacular jumps by bouncing off the walls. His swordplay is breathtaking, made all the more interesting by ratings of cool and dull popping up on the screen as you fight.
With a powerful and suitably demonic soundtrack reminiscent of The Omen, this fantastic game has finally set a new standard for next-gen software. There is now no going back, and this should definitely shit up a few of the lazier designers. Good.
Basically, I can't say enough about Devil May Cry. Buy it, enjoy it, and remember when you dreamt of games looking this good.
This week, we've taken our jury of gamers to the racetrack. Will the smell of burning rubber and the stench of petrol get them in the mood to try out the latest driving games? Burnout, GTC Africa, and Lotus Challenge? First up, Burnout. It's not exactly an original concept. Drive a car fast over 16 courses in real-world locations. Avoid objects in your path. Get around a circuit first via checkpoints, hairpin turns, and bollards, and be the one flanked by silicone-enhanced babes wearing little but butt floss, just like the arcade. It's the first of 3 driving games for our panel, but did it get them off to a flyer?
Even if you're not into racing games that much, it does contain such an amount of fun, and even if you just get off on the crashes, it is just the best fun.
It's not the same as any other racing game out at the moment. It's arcade fun. You can pick it up from wherever you want, play it as many times as you like.
You get GT3. If you want a realistic racing game, you buy that. If you want a fun arcade racer for PS2, buy this.
Now let's see if GTC Africa can take the racing line over Burnout. GTC, or Global Touring Challenge, to give it its proper title, apparently captures the scale and beauty of various African vistas while you pit your driving skills against other drivers. But are the panoramic views so lovely that our panel can't keep their eyes on the road?
Well, I mean, it looks really nice. Some of the graphics are particularly sultry on this one, but gameplay-wise, it doesn't drive that well.
It's a nice looking game, don't get me wrong, but not the most fun to play, I have to admit. This game is for people who have a lot of money to shell out on their PS2. Personally, I think I'll be waiting for Colin McRae 3.
Bringing up the rear is Virgin's Lotus Challenge. This game had a bit of an extended pit stop to make sure it was firing on all cylinders on release. Now our jury may be more spent than a sperm bank assistant, but it's time once more for them to put pedal to the metal.
This is a racing game for grands, 180 miles per hour, and it doesn't feel like it at all. You are crawling around this track and getting nowhere fast.
This is the worst game I've played in a long time.
Why, what's wrong with it?
It's awful. It feels like you're crawling along at a walking pace, basically. The tracks are annoying. You can actually keep your thumb on X just all day long and the forward arrow, and that's you.
It's not the high-octane action that other games have got. The cars are nice. The environments, I think, are accurate if a bit dull, but it's more of a sim than an arcade game. It's as simple as that.
So out of our 3, Burnout is in pole position, GTC Africa is having a very leisurely Sunday drive, while Lotus Challenge is still stuck in first gear. So if you're looking for one driving game and you're not of a nervous disposition, Burnout is the one for you. Join us after the break when I'll be reviewing what could be the Dreamcast Swan Song.
What does a swan song sound like?
But if you're a feral game slut who just can't sleep, then head over to our website at www.channel4.com/Thumb Bandits.
Before. Welcome back to Thumb Banditos, where it's never game over. That is rubbish, I can't say that.
Welcome back to Thumb Bandits, where it's never game over. Now here's our top-selling PlayStation 1 games of the year.
I mean, that was really, really good.
Yes, this looks like it will be the last year of PlayStation 1 domination, and as usual, the top-selling games were almost entirely sports-based.
In 5th place, it's Gran Turismo 2.
600 road, rally and racing cars from 33 manufacturers from around the globe.
LMA Manager has stepped right up and taken pole position amongst the management sims. It's in at number 4.
Over here, son, on me head. Despite having several releases under the name of International Superstar Soccer, the series hasn't changed much, but continual improvements have made it as close as humanly possible to a true football sim.
Final Fantasy, in one shape or form, has been around for over a decade now, and they're never hitting celluloid again. The company is going back to basics to make sure that Final Fantasy X and 11 are a success.
But body slamming its way into the #1 slot for the PS1 is WWF SmackDown 2, Know Your Role. With over 50 wrestlers, all with their own unique signature moves, all new gameplay modes, and spanking new venues to smash up. Giant Haystacks was never like this.
Oh, sorry, I was just sort of waiting around there and forgot what I was doing. Which is exactly the same sort of loose-end feeling you get with the Dreamcast Shenmue series, which releases the next 4 chapters of the 16-part game in one happy Shenmue 2 bundle later on this month. Limber up for an exercise in loitering. When it was released last year, Shenmue was a revolution in gaming. It was life precisely transcribed, complete with miserable job and inane conversations with people at bus stops. Fabulous for those who bought into it hook, line, and sinker for the 40-odd hours it took to finish.
Get up. I'll allow you to die like a warrior.
For the rest of us, regardless of how much we wanted to escape our own reality, after the initial WoW wore off, we never bothered to pick it up again. But say hello to Shenmue 2. This is an epic. When we last met our hero Ryo, he was on a ship heading from his native Japan into the wild and mysterious Hong Kong, in search of someone who would lead him closer to avenging the brutal murder of his father. There is a degree of linearity, and the greater plot must go on, but you can get to where you need to go in any way you see fit. This is an extremely compelling chapter in the overall grand, huge odyssey of the game. The worlds that Ryo inhabits are exceptionally beautiful, well beyond anything you're going to get on the PlayStation 2. You can interact with every person and every object you see. You'll get a job, and soon you can have your pick of manning a pachinko stall in a dodgy part of town or lugging crates at the docks. I still wonder why Ryo doesn't go in for something like rocket scientist or astronaut or fluffer. Computer games are, after all, fantasy. There's loads of time to pass, and you spend an awful lot of energy running through the maze of beautiful streets, looking at Ryo's well-formed ass. If you don't have a good book to read, I highly recommend it, but make sure you don't have flatmates who ever want to watch TV again. Shenmue Part 2 is out in our Dreamcast this month. Me, I'm holding out for Shenmue 4 to be released on the Xbox when the shit will really hit the Japanese fan.
When we asked Hakan, our very own next-generation Game Boy, what he wanted to be when he grew up, he said a professional gamer. So we sent him along to meet Britain's #1 for some careers advice.
Can you ever imagine being paid to play games? It's everyone's dream. There are people about who are lucky enough to get paid to play. Sujay Roy is one of Britain's top professional players.
Last year, I managed to bring in about, I think it was just over £150,000 in sponsorships. I was winning almost every Quake tournament there was. I've come top in Europe. I've also, been top 10 in the world ranked as a game player as well.
But what are the 5 steps to becoming a pro?
Practice is obviously a major part of being a professional game player. It means practicing every single day, 3 or 4 hours a day. You have to find a sparring partner that's a very good player as well, who's going to be competition for you. You really need a whole range of skills. You've got to be able to develop strategy and tactics to beat the other person. Get involved with the leagues. There are all sorts of leagues going on. You could get involved with the National Gaming League, which goes on in cities around the country. You've got to get yourself good at the game, which takes a lot of work. And then you've got to get yourself noticed. You just have to get a sponsor to back you. That's when you can start making money. You obviously have to follow the tournaments around the world. America, around Europe. I was in Amsterdam a few times, Germany, France, Sweden, Denmark, all over the place. I think at the bottom line it comes down to practice and determination to succeed.
In order to piss off the careers advice officer at my school, I met up with Sujay for a day out.
I'm going to open a can of whoop-ass on you, boy.
You're not going to win.
What inspired you to become a professional gamer?
I don't know, I wouldn't have believed it could happen before. I mean, my whole life I've loved playing games, but when someone came up to me and offered me money to do it, I couldn't say no.
Wow. Fun. Which game did you start off with first?
The game that really got me into competitions was Quake. It was the first one designed for the internet, and you could just take on anyone across the world.
Were they big tournaments?
There's like $100,000 of prize money on the line. There's like video cameras, people taking your photographs, loads of people watching, and it's just a big rush.
I lost you.
And honestly, and I can beat you like that.
I can't believe this. Be prepared to die.
because I'm very good at football.
We'll see.
So do you practice a lot?
Yeah, I mean, you have to practice every single day because everyone else is. Before tournaments, I'll be practicing up to like 8 hours a day to make sure I'm on
8
form.
hours a day? Are you a virtual celebrity, like, around everyone? Do people know you for what you do?
I find people do know me. So, it's a strange thing to get recognised.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
What is life like as a professional gamer?
But it's a pretty crazy lifestyle. Completely the opposite to the office life I was doing before. Basically, all I'm doing is playing in tournaments.
Is Suzy always a winner? Not when the Game Boy's about.
Oh, I'm out. Oh, no.
Yeah. Unlucky son. I beat you at this game, man. I'm too good for you.
Well, it looks like 2002 is going to be another classic year of video gaming.
Yeah, because 1953 was rubbish, wasn't it?
Oh, shut up. Well, already our joysticks are twitching in anticipation of the new titles that are going to be coming your way. And hey, remember, you saw them here first.
The year 2024. The place, Tokyo. The game, Jet Set Radio Future. The console, the Xbox. Now, I could go on like this for the whole preview, but I won't, because Jet Set Radio looks set to become one of the most innovative games to come out in recent years. And now it's on the Xbox. Choose a character, strap on your rocket-powered skates, and get all Buck Rogers as you immerse yourself in the vast, futuristic city. And attention all DJs, skaters, breakers, rockers, and pop lockers, because Grand Royale, the label behind the Beastie Boys, are providing the soundtrack. Wherever your adventure takes you, it's all about extreme skating, extreme action, and of course, extreme style. Jet Set Radio Future will hit the streets next summer.
Crash for the Xbox and PlayStation 2 is effectively a next-generation update of Destruction Derby. Rage, however, have done away with the pit stops and the lap times in favor of some pure and simple carnage. Yes, it's a straightforward smash 'em up. You could spend years building models which use 10,000 polygons per motor, with over 30 or more separate parts ranging from windscreens, bumpers, side panels, wheels, and wings. Or sod all that, strap yourself into a bucket seat and go careening around a dirt track, smashing up any other vehicle you can see on the horizon.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. An often overused phrase, that. But when it's used to describe the updated GameCube version of the classic game Super Smash Bros. Melee, originally on the N64, then never a truer word has been spoken.
Although there have been some great developments in the single-player platform-like game, Super Smash Bros. Was all about pitting the wits of Mario against Donkey Kong, Bowser against Captain Falcon, or Pikachu versus Link. They've added so many new tweaks, bells and whistles to Melee that you'll be discovering new things about this game this time next year. And you really are a bunch of lucky old swines, because Nintendo have deemed it fit for service and ready for action on the GameCube in 2002, sir.
Join us again next week when we'll be racing with the latest of the Wipeout series, trying our hand at simulators and singing the praises of Parappa the Rapper. In the meantime, check out our website at www.channel4.com/Thumb Bandits.
Now, no doubt being gamers, your tiny little attention spans have been tested to the limit by our fantastic show.
Thanks so much for bearing with us. Now, you know, Ian and I enjoy playing games, but we also like everyday conversation. So, Ian, what should we talk about? I'm going to kick your ass.
It's arse, as we've discussed.
No, I'm going to hurt you.
Let's build a game with a big gingerbread man in it, and then you have to shoot it. Yeah, that's not drug-inspired, is it?
Oh, no, man, that is so dangerous for the kiddies.
I just shot a giant snowman in the testicles. Imagine putting testicles on a snowman. Well, snowballs or lumps of coal or something. Snowballs. Snowballs. In your face. Get out of it, you dirty woman. That's sick.